Good evening. A new appointment in Real Cases Detective with the Solved Cases series. And tonight's case will take us to Michigan. And I will tell you in it about a strange, bizarre crime story with all its details. But the strangest thing is the witness in this crime, a parrot. Yes, a parrot that was able to help the detectives solve the puzzle that was impossible for them to solve. How is that? This is what I propose we discover its details in the new episode from the Solved Cases series. Welcome. So, as we said earlier, this case takes us to Michigan. It will take us back to the year of 1991. And I introduce you to Marty Duram, who met a young woman called Christina. They will fall in love and marry. Their life was going on normally. They will have together 3 children, until we reach the year of 1995, when Marty is exposed to a terrible accident. An accident that happened by his car. He was driving his car normally. Suddenly, a heavy truck passing the red light carries with it Marty and his car due to the big speed. From the look of the accident and the shape of the car, most people expected it is impossible that Marty makes it and survives. Even the doctors who supervised his situation when he came to the hospital said that his chance of survival is very low. He has a hole in the lungs, his pelvis bones broken, his lower jaw broken, and he has damage in parts of the brain. But despite all these injuries, Marty survived miraculously. After a month, he spent in a coma in intensive care. He woke up, but of course, he woke up as another person. Marty first lost memory. He forgot his wife, Christina. He forgot all details of his previous life. Even his personality changed completely. He was no longer easy in dealings and simple and lighthearted. He transformed into an aggressive person, pessimistic and violent. A change that seemed to come from the pains he had that never ended. So he would live the rest of his life on painkillers and sedatives. His wife, Christina, tried to help him, to support him after the accident. A year and a half, she is bearing the full responsibility of Marty. She is the one who fed him. She is the one who dressed him. She is the one who carried him, even to use the bathroom. All that with hope Marty would return as before, and their life would stabilize. But after a year and a half, Marty surpassed his physical disability. He returned to walking and moving normally. But the only thing that did not return is his personality that changed forever after the accident. After he lost memory, Christina felt more and more that he is not that man she loved and married, and that living with him is like living with a stranger to her. Life became unbearable for her and her children. They no longer knew him. He became always shouting and angry. Nothing pleased him. She decided to separate from him. Marty bought a house and moved to live in it alone after divorce, and he returned in a not very understandable way to contact his first love, Glenna, who also was recently separated from her husband. Glenna and Marty were convinced that what happened in their lives was a divine plan, so they returned to live together and start a new life. And this is what really happened. They married in 1997, and they lived in the new house that Marty bought, and with them lived one of Marty's sons and also a parrot, because Marty had an African parrot he raised for years. The couple were excited indeed for the beginning of their new life. They traveled. They went on hunting trips together, especially with Marty's health improving more and more. But even with this, problems happened. Because of Marty's sharp temper, as I mentioned to you, a nervous person, doubting Glenna a lot, and he wanted her always by his side 24/7. He wanted to know what she is doing, where she is going, with whom she talked or called. So this process was very tiring for Glenna. But they overcame together these problems and always reminded each other of what happened that made them return to each other after years of separation. In 2015, specifically May 13th, 2015, the neighbor of the couple noticed that Glenna and Marty did not appear since morning, unlike usual. The door of their house was closed, and this is strange for her. She is their neighbor, but also their friend. So, she knows their rituals. Usually, they open the door. They walk around a little. They drink morning coffee outside. She went to their house and knocked the door. They did not open. She looked around the windows of their house. Maybe she sees something inside. Later on, she said maybe they went out because she could not see anything. The next day, the neighbor woke up and noticed the same situation of yesterday. She went directly to the couple's house and started knocking on the door. No answer. So she decided this time to enter their house. She broke the door and entered, and started calling them Marty, Glenna. But actually, the first thing she noticed when she entered the house, that the whole house was in chaos, like a big fight happened in it. And while she is calling their names, she started checking room after room, and went upstairs. The first moment she opened the bedroom door, the shock, the couple, both, drowning in their blood. Apparently, they were shot. She started screaming and ran out of the house and called directly the police. The moment the detectives arrived, from the moment they saw Marty and Glenna, they expected both had died. But it turned out that Glenna was still breathing, although her injury was serious. She had 2 bullets in her head. She was treated, but she entered coma. Meanwhile, Marty was confirmed officially dead. After investigating the crime scene, the detectives understood that the chaos in the house was proof of a fight. But the strange thing was, there was no sign of break-in, except of the door that the neighbor had broken. They found a gun in the living room, but the strange thing is, the shooting of the victims happened upstairs, in the bedroom. And with comparing the gun with the bullets found in the crime scene, the detectives confirmed indeed that this gun is the crime weapon. But it had only Marty's and Glenna's prints, and no strange prints on it. The detectives did not find any evidence leading to who did this to the couple. No DNA, no fingerprints, nothing. At first, they put the possibility that the one who did this to the couple is someone who often visits them to buy drugs. Yes, because they will discover that the couple were selling drugs. I told you earlier that after Marty's accident, the doctors gave him painkillers that he must take for the rest of his life. The type of painkillers Marty drank were forbidden to be traded, only taken with prescription. These painkillers Marty got for free. Insurance covered their costs. With his getting used to pain, he reduced the doses for himself and sold the rest, him and his wife. And there was a lot of money, since one box of those painkillers he sold for $4,000 to drug dealers. And the dealers came to Marty and Glenna to get that drug. Their friends and family tried to warn them that the people who come to them are suspicious and with criminal records. But Marty, as we said before, was stubborn and did not care, and he kept selling drugs from his house. So here, the detectives imagined another scenario, that one of the drug dealers, knowing Marty had a lot of that medicine and money in the house, decided to steal what's in there, kill them, and escape. A theory denied by Marty's son. And here will be the first surprise in this case. Marty's son accused directly his stepmother, Glenna, in the crime. But this theory was hard. First thing, according to witnesses, the couple's relationship was stable. But Marty's son said that is only what appeared to people. But he said in reality his father and stepmother were always in fights, and their fights always ended with death threats. And especially Glenna, he said, always told his father, "I am tired of your behavior and your excessive jealousy." And indeed, Marty was hard with her and violent and bad in words. Even Marty's children discovered a letter Glenna wrote to her children telling them she will leave them and asking them forgiveness. Here, Marty's children decided to file a report against Glenna and officially accuse her that she killed their father, then tried to commit suicide later. The letter and the crime scene supported their words. Also in search, detectives also discovered that Glenna was addicted to gambling and had debts of more than $5,000. And with these debts, she had no solution except to mortgage the house they lived in. But the house is Marty's house. She mortgaged it without his knowledge. On the day of the crime, it was supposed they hand over the house because of the not paid debts. By coincidence, Marty dies and Glenna is shot. What a coincidence. Here, detectives started to suspect Glenna more, meaning problems between her and the victim, plus Marty not knowing she mortgaged his house. Maybe she decided to finish him and end her life after. What also supported this theory is the search Glenna did on her phone, how to use a specific type of gun, the gun which is the same as the crime weapon. Everything is clear now. That is what it looks like to you. How was the crime gun found in the living room under the couch, while the shooting happened in the bedroom upstairs? And the inspection proved the shooting happened in the bedroom. Is someone shot in the head in the bedroom able to walk to the living room downstairs, hide the weapon under the couch, then return and lay on the bed? Plus, Glenna had 2 bullets in her head, meaning almost impossible someone shoots herself in the head twice. But finally, and after long wait, Glenna woke up from the coma, and came the time to hear her. The detectives faced her with the evidence against her, and Glenna insisted on her innocence. She even collapsed. How did the detectives suspect her? She said it is impossible she hurt Marty and then hurt herself. So, what happened, ma'am? She said that there was a masked man, broke into their house, shot Marty, then shot me. And this is what I remember. And later, she told the detectives she no longer remembers anything of what happened the night of the crime. She told them she lives under shock. She forgot everything. And the masked man? I also forgot him. Here, we arrive to the interesting part that made this case famous and created a big stir. After Glenna left the hospital, she went to live in her family's house. And Marty's children and his ex-wife Christina went to his house that was mortgaged. They took all his belongings since anyway the house will be handed over. They carried all his stuff, and among them, the parrot. The parrot species Marty owned is a long-living type. Can live up to 80, even 90 years. Strong memory. And this species has the feature that besides memorizing words quickly, it can even imitate voices of people around it, if it is used to them. At first, the parrot was always silent. Even Christina said surely it is sad on Marty's death. But after 2 weeks, it returned to speak. Every night at nightfall, it repeated 2 sentences, like a dialogue between a man and a woman. First, it imitated a man's voice, which is Marty's voice, saying, "Don't shoot me with the fire, don't shoot me with the fire." And after it, imitated a woman's voice replying to Marty saying, "Shut up, close your mouth," and some bad words. Watch with me this video sequence.
Oh, shut up, later. You. No.
Christina recorded the parrot, the video you were watching. Christina and Marty's family concluded this was the last conversation between Glenna and Marty. Immediately, they went to the police and gave them the video. In truth, at first the detectives were surprised. They refused the report. "You bring us a parrot to take it as witness in the case?" But after they saw the video, and after the incident was published in American media, the case became a public opinion case. Experts and animal specialists spoke and confirmed Christina's words are true, and said yes, it can happen that this parrot species memorizes conversations. So the prosecution decided that this specific parrot species, they can take its testimony in the case, and they understood that this parrot was repeating the last conversation between Glenna and Marty. Okay, but one puzzle remains. What about the injury of this woman if she is the criminal and shot him? Here also was needed the opinion of experts who said, first, as I told you before, she took 2 bullets in the head and yet stayed alive. I imagine you understood with me that the bullets in her head were not fatal. Doctors said after Glenna shot herself, she regained consciousness, she got up and moved. A difficult movement, yes. She shot herself the first time. The bullet passed on her head. She shot herself a second time, also hit her head but not fatal. We can say she gambled with her life. But in the end, the 2 bullets did not penetrate her brain. And indeed, she woke after she shot herself, and therefore changed the place of the crime weapon. And then when she returned, she lost consciousness before she entered coma. We do not know exactly how far this theory goes, but this is what happened in this case, and this is what was taken and considered in this case. They considered she shot herself, and she carried the weapon to put it in the living room, and she returned, and upon returning lost consciousness before entering coma. Glenna will be charged with first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. From Marty, the owner of the parrot's case, we for sure can learn that even the smallest witnesses can reveal the biggest truths, reminding us that justice always finds a way to speak. It also shows that no crime stays hidden forever. Every detail, no matter how unusual it is, can become the key to solving a mystery. I await your comments on this strange and exciting case, and how far you adopt the theory that the detectives depended on. Stay tuned for our next case, in which the investigators follow a chilling trail not of fingerprints, but of purchases. A store receipt, seemingly ordinary, may hold the key to unmasking a murderer. What was bought, when and why, could prove deadly, so don't miss it.